So we're back in the fish room today like we normally are. We're here every day pretty much. And today is going to be a really big day. And that's because you guys have been really supportive and just phenomenal lately. I can't express how thankful I am, but we have like a ton of fish orders to send out today. So I've got these 2 boxes here. We're going to need to pack them full of fish and then take them home to box them up and then take them to the post office. We had like a crazy amount of fish sell in the past couple of weeks, so I'm really thankful of you guys for helping me out. And yeah, so in today's vlog there's a lot of stuff happening in the fish room lately. I'm going to quickly show you around like some of the fry boxes and whatever. A bunch of stuff has happened since I last updated you guys. I'll quickly show you the fry boxes. We got some koi angels, some ultima angels. We only got a small batch of them. Those were the rescue batch from when we got our pair, so we saved them. Some more koi angels ready to almost go into like a little grow out tank. In here we've got a bunch of ultima angelfish wrigglers, so you can see them all there. I think we got quite a few. I pulled these guys a bit late and lost a few, so I was pretty annoyed by that, but that's kind of something you have to deal with when you have a fish room. Got more koi angels, some peppermints, and then here we have 1 black ram fry. Now I've got a bit of a story about these guys. I'm actually pretty disappointed and upset. I think we've only got 1. Yeah. Let's see if we can't spot another. I'm pretty disappointed and upset about this, but I've just had such a hard time with the rams lately. Apparently black rams are a lot harder than like blue rams to breed and stuff like that, which isn't really an excuse, but I'm still learning on these guys. I've only gotten a couple of spawns and played with them a couple of times, but this time we've I don't know what the heck's happened. So I had 40 of these guys in here just the day before when they started free swimming, and within that time period you normally see them, they're kind of like terrible swimmers. They have to fight a bit, and then the next day normally they're a little bit better. Now because they are so tiny, I can't express how small they are when they're first born. I reckon that this sponge up the back was porous enough, or there was a gap up the back where they literally just all escaped. And then down in here, they wouldn't have had a chance of surviving because there's just a bunch of dwarf neon rainbows. So I reckon what's happened is they've escaped, because I came here and there was like 3 of them, and I looked around the whole thing and there was no bodies anywhere. So I'm a little bit puzzled by that. If we do get another spawn, they're going to be getting raised in a bowl, and I'm going to be trying a completely different method. So I'm pretty bummed about that anyways. So hopefully this guy survives, but you never know. He seems to be doing alright. And then in the next fry box we've got some praecox rainbows, so not many of these guys in here. These guys have the same problems as the rams, where they escape and then they turn into big dwarf neon rainbows down the bottom. So these guys were some of the escapees that just survived, and I've never been able to fish them out because they're so quick. So yeah, that's what's happening over here in the fry boxes. In one of our most recent vlogs we did some better breeding as well, and I'm going to show you guys what's happened with that. So we actually ended up getting a spawn from our black samurai. There's a bunch of little fry underneath that piece of bubble wrap there, so you can almost, oh there you go, you can kind of see that through the plastic, just all the little guys there. So it's quite a few of them, which is great. I really wanted to breed him and he's finally done it for me, so that's great. In this next box we've got some more of these guys. You can see that biofilm filming because I haven't got any air in this tank, so these guys are going to be moved to a little breeder box very soon. Here we've got a ton of red dragons. You can see all those little dots on the top of the body of water. That's a little fry there. So there are heaps and heaps and heaps of these little guys, all eating baby brine shrimp and a little bit of egg yolk every now and then. But that's great. And then in this box, not as many, but we've still got a bunch of other betters. So I'm not too sure what these were. I'll have to go back on the vlogs and have a look. But that's what's happening over here on the fry side of things. We've got some of the koi angels. This was the first successful batch. They're nearly ready to go into a 4-foot tank. You can see there's a few culls in here, but they're doing great. I've just fed them, that's why the tank's a little bit messy, but they normally clean up all that food very quick. You can see as well in some of these other tanks I've separated some German blue ram pairs, and the reason I've done this is just literally because, yes, I want to breed some of these guys, but I also want to practice in case I do get any more black rams on how to raise rams better, because I don't want to keep practicing on the big, main prize. I want to get some of these easier fish hopefully to breed and then learn on them, and then be able to, successfully breed the black rams. But there's some bloodworms in front of them. They're a little bit skittish because they were only put in here yesterday, so they're still settling in. A couple of other things I wanted to show you was I've cleared out this tank. I've actually mainly stopped producing epistogrammas, and I'm going to stop probably for the next, I don't know, however long, making epistogrammas, and that's because I've had a hard time selling them. They don't sell easily because people only want the males, so there's no point really breeding them. They just take up tanks. They're a little bit hard to breed and they're a little bit hard to sell. So I've emptied out those tanks where the orange Cacatoides was and the double reds were, and I've put the better fry. So these are the blue marble, or whatever you want to call them, blueberry kois. You can see they're starting to get some of that blue on them, which is cool. They're very iridescent and good looking, these fish. There's quite a few of them in here, not as many as what I'm about to show you in the other tank, but they're all in here growing out. And then in here we've got all of our longfin kois. There's like 500 of these guys, I swear. There's so many all growing out in this tank next door. So there's actually so many that my camera can't focus on one. Yeah, just a ridiculous amount of these guys. There's also the peppermints that are growing out in here as well. You can see them all in that crevice there. So that's really cool. I'm super happy to have those peppermints breeding because we've got so many of them. I actually counted them. We've only got 40 of these guys in the first batch, but our next batch had quite a few more. So lots of peppermints on the way as well. Then up here we've got our pair of discus. We've got lemon over here and clementine here. Beautiful fish. They've settled in really well. They've been eating some DIY discus food that I made for them, so I might actually do a feeding later on in the afternoon and show you guys when I feed them, because they're super aggressive eaters. And you can see that she seems to be plumping up a little bit, so maybe some breeding is going to happen. You're never too sure, but they look absolutely phenomenal. They've got all their colour back now. They've been showing some breeding behaviour, but super personable fish. I absolutely love discus now. I've actually got a problem, I think. I'm going to need to get some more. These guys are just too good to resist. They've got great personality, super fun to keep, because I like having something like a little bit challenging to do. Like you have to keep up on water changes and feedings with these guys, but I'm just absolutely loving it. I love doing this stuff, so super great. I just love the face patterns on her as well. She's a really good fish. One other thing that I quickly wanted to show you guys was this new concept. So me and my mate Justin came up with this. Well, Justin came up with this and I borrowed the idea from him. I don't know whether this is going to work, but we're using these little food covers to try and raise Cory fry, because I've been having a really hard time with the Corys lately. Don't know what it is. They're a little bit tricky to breed. Well, not to breed, I'm getting lots of spawning, but raising the eggs is a whole nother thing. And so I've been playing with this concept. I've actually used to raise the fry in little boxes like you can see there, but it just became a little bit tricky in this room because it's so tiny. So we're trying this. Now what this is a little like food thing, and what you do is you suspend it over the top of the aquarium like that, and what it does is it allows flow to get into the box, and that makes the Cory eggs hatch quicker, but it also means you get to keep the Cory eggs in the same water that they were laid, so they won't be able to fall through that gap. And you can see how dark they're all turning. So once they hatch, I'm going to try and feed them baby brine shrimp in here and see how we go, and then hopefully once they've grown a little bit and gotten past that like finicky stage, move them into a grow out tank. But we'll see how they go. I've got a feeling that a lot of those baby brine shrimp are just going to go through the gaps, so we'll just keep playing with this. I want to learn a good method and then really go hard on the Corys. So these are longfin pandas and panda Cory eggs. There might also be a couple of Trilineatus or Trilineatus Cory eggs in there as well, so that's great news. And apart from all of that, I think that's everything that I can update you guys on so far. So let's go straight to boxing up these fish. Well, it's now a couple of hours later and we finished bagging all these guys up. So you can see here's a whole 2 boxes full of stuff ready to go to you guys. Got like a ton of angelfish go out, lots of guppies today, and yeah, just a whole bunch of stuff. So the job's not done. We still have to take all these boxes home, individually box them up, and then take them to the post office. So lots of work, but I absolutely love sending fish to you guys, and you guys seem to really enjoy all the fish that I've been sending. So let's go take these guys home and box them up properly. So I just finished packing all the orders. You can see just how many there are. It's ridiculous. And the dog's saying hi too. Say hi, Scruffy. Let's get these to the post office.
First one, yep. Okay.
So it's a couple days later and we're back in the fish room, and we sent out all the orders and they all arrived really well. So there was only one loss. We lost one angelfish in one of the orders, which is sad, but that's part of shipping fish. You lose fish every now and then. So all 12 boxes made it okay, just that one angelfish was the only loss we suffered. So besides that, a lot has changed, I guess, in the fish room. There's always stuff going on, So I'm going to run around and show you guys some stuff that's happening. We've moved a batch of angelfish into this grow out. So we took the old batch out and we put them into another grow out tank, which I'll show you in a second. And this is a new batch in here now. So these are just the koi angels. The old batch is in here now growing out. So you can see they're just about getting to that size where they're going to be getting sellable. They're getting their orange color like a koi angelfish should. You can see right there. Looking really, really good. So this tank's full of them, and hopefully they're going to grow really quick in this big mass of water. Also, for all you guys following my bedders, here they are. They are looking really, really good. They're starting to get color. There's a few interesting ones in here. You can see like here, there's this female. I think, no, that's maybe a male. And there's another transparent one up the back. There's a really cool looking one here. I really like this one a lot. This is obviously a male. Really transparent with the long fins. Looks really cool. So yeah, those are the bedders. These are the biggest ones of the batch. These are the ones with the most color. These smaller ones are over here. They're still growing up a little bit and, you know, getting some more color. They're just a little bit smaller, but lots of variation in this batch. I think that's what you get with all the kinds of bedders, but yeah, there's some cool fish nonetheless. If we come over to this tank, you can see these are the blueberry kois. They're starting to get some real good color as well and growing really quick. So every day I come in, they look a little bit different. And here are the longfin kois. They're just growing a little bit slower because this tank's so densely packed. I mean, you can see the surface of the water. You look up the back of the tank, there's just hundreds of these guys in here. So yeah. But today what we're going to be doing is, we've also got all these better spawns over in this side of the fish room. So all these guys, which I showed you earlier on in the video, they're going to be going into little tubs where they can grow out a little bit more, and then I can start breeding some more bedders. So we're going to do that, and we also have to take out another order to the fish shop today. So we're going to be clearing out all of these apistogrammas up here. There's a few left. That one is a little bit skinny because she spawned yesterday in this pot. And we're also going to be taking the remainder of these albino cories. So I'm a little bit sad about this because I don't have many of these coming through. So they're not a high dollar fish, but they're just fun to breed. And yeah, these are going to be my last batch for a little bit. So them and some rainbows. One other thing that's happened since you guys have seen me is my pair of black rams. So this is the second pair I've got. There's another pair over in this tank which are looking like they're going to spawn again, which is great. So that's one pair. But this second pair over here, these are actually bred from a spawn ages back, and I only had these two survive. So there's one here and there's a female hiding in here somewhere, but I had them growing out in that apistogramma tank over that I just showed you before, and the female was really territorial in the corner and she was taking it off, and the male wasn't too interested. So I threw this German blue ram this German blue ram male in there, and to try and get this male to like get his act together. And I checked up on them yesterday and it was looking like they were going to breed. I wasn't happy with them breeding in that tank. I just thought that there's really no point. So what I did was I moved these guys over. These guys are in a 20 gallon. You can see the male's right there. He's been super aggressive because he's ready to breed. The female's just kind of figuring out what she wants to do at the moment. So that's the male. I threw this other German blue ram, like subdominant male, in here just to for the male. Like you can see, he can take his aggression out on him instead of the female, and hopefully it helps them to pair off a little bit more naturally. So the female's in here somewhere hiding, but she's not getting beaten up too bad. So these guys are definitely the most aggressive rams that there are in the hobby. I'm also, just for a bit of practice, I'm breeding some of these German blue rams, which I got from my friend Justin. So I've got 2 pairs of these going. One last thing that's looking really, really good is these discus. I don't know if you can tell, and I'm not going to get my hopes up, but this female's got her papilla out and she's looking really, really plump. And she's been showing some signs of breeding. She's been going over the corners of the tank and trying to clean them off. Like you can see, maybe she'll do it here. And she's directing the male over to them. So she's been keen on this corner. We'll see if she does anything here, but you can just see, wow, how good she looks. Discus are amazing looking fish. There we go. So you can see that shaking. That's her saying to the male, come on and spawn over here, I'm pretty sure. So really, really exciting. But besides all of that, let's get to bagging up these fish. So it's a couple more days later and we're back in the fish room, and I got something very exciting to show you in this tank. So last night I came into the fish room and I was giving everything a feed, and I could tell these guys were prepping the area. They were going berserk. They were getting ready to spawn. The female's breeding tube, or ovipositor, or whatever you want to call it, was really out, and she was just looking really plump. And I came back this morning and these guys have laid their eggs. So the male's in the way here. So you'll see they've laid a bunch of eggs. I don't know how many they've laid, and I don't know whether they're even fertilized. You know, all you can do is hope. But they seem to be doing a really good job. I've seen these guys with fertile, like little wrigglers when I first bought them. So we got eggs and it's only been a week. So that's really good news. Here's Clementine, and there's Lemon. We're gonna get Lem out of the way. But yeah, she's not happy with me being here. So that's really good news. These have bred already, so these are. So I'm just super. Oh, come on, Clementine. I'm just super excited to have had these guys spawn for me. So I'm going to keep you guys obviously updated over the next couple of days as these hopefully hatch and these guys start to take care of them. That's really exciting, but just because I know I'm going to get a bunch of questions about how these guys spawned and what I did to make them spawn, because I got these guys last Friday and now it's Saturday afternoon, so I had them for about a week and they've already spawned. The only thing that I've done with these guys is I've obviously removed that matin filter to make sure that they stay as clean as possible in here. I've done daily water changes, and every time I've done a water change I try and suck up, you can see all these little colour granule bits along the bottom of the tank. I suck all that up, you can see there's a little piece of poop there, and I try and keep the tank as clean as possible. And when I fill up the tank you can see the RO water. So I use just 100% RO water because these guys just love soft water. So out of the tap, my tap water is pretty soft, but not like as soft as it could be. So the RO water does help a lot. And you can see just there, I mean, this is the second time they've spawned ever. And I mean, that's a pretty decent sized spawn. So if you get the water correct, you get more eggs and then more fertilized eggs. So, I mean, only time's gonna tell, but yeah, I didn't do anything too special. I've got my discus food that I've been making, and I'm still gonna try and perfect that before I make any other kinds of YouTube videos about it. So that's just a special recipe that I was using from my mate Vincent, who, if you want to see the vlog, there's going to be a link up in the top right hand corner. But we went and we bought these discus from him, and he uses like his own special mix with secret ingredients. But in mine I put in, it's 1:1:1 ratio. The ingredients are barramundi, yellowfin tuna, like a seafood mix. So I used some mussels and some spirulina, and they seem to really enjoy it. So I was feeding that, and I'm also feeding the colour granules, and it seemed to work really well. So I'm going to keep this up. If you guys were wondering how I did it, that's how I did it. And yeah, so I guess besides that good news, which I'm really stoked about, that's probably going to wrap up this vlog. So thank you guys so much for watching this. I really do appreciate it. I hope you guys learned something from this video. You can see some of these plecos are getting huge now. I'm going to do a fish room update very soon. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.